Hey everyone, so tonight I'm doing a review on the Marvel Legends Moonknight from the Marvel's Vulture series. So in the front you just see it says Marvel Legends. I like this logo, I like the Moonknight logo right there, the Crescent Moon, I think that looks awesome. And on the top here it has another image of the Crescent Moon. I just like the whole black and white look. It's got a nice drawing of Moonknight on the sides here. And on the back it just says Marvel's Moonknight. And it says a vision in the Egyptian temple leads Mark Spector to don a silver shroud and become the crime-fighting hero Moonknight. And you can see a lot of other figures in the way with the two movie Spider-Mans, Moonknight, and the other, I think it's the Cosmic Spider-Man, I can't remember off the top of my head, and Tombstone, Beetle, and the movie Vulture. And then we are going to be doing a Build-A-Wings instead of a Build-A-Figure. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this guy open and check him out. Alright everyone, so here is Moonknight out of the package. Very cool figure. He's actually pretty gummy feeling. That's just my opinion. We'll play around with him a little more as we review him. But so far just popping him out, he's pretty gummy. Those Crescent Moons he comes with, they're interesting. They're very thin, and when we go over them you'll see. Barely see them. Hopefully the backdrop's not covering them up, but they do kind of look like fingernail clippings to me, at least the smaller ones. Alright guys, so we'll go in after 360, we'll go and check out the details. Hey everyone, so alright, so we'll go ahead and check out the Build-A-Figure piece that Moonknight comes with. So this is kind of the end tip of the wing. You can just kind of see the little peg that it connects into. It's got a little hinge here, but otherwise it's got a lot of sculpted detailing on the actual wing itself with this kind of military green paint. One thing I did notice, it's pretty thin. I was expecting it to be a little thicker. And then on the back here you can see a lot more paint applications on the back, but again it's really nicely sculpted. It's somewhat pliable. I mean, I wouldn't fold it, but it doesn't feel like it's brittle or anything like that. It feels like it can be kind of bent around if it gets moved around, so at least that's good. But overall it's interesting. Should be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how it looks once it's all put together, but otherwise building wings is kind of interesting. Alright, first off we'll go ahead and start with the Crescent Moons. He comes with 3 little ones and 1 large one. So you can kind of see here in my hand. There we go. The little ones to me kind of look like fingernail clippings, but it's very thin plastic. You can see here, hopefully it's not too bad of a contrast, but it's very thin, pliable. The little ones are just really little. I definitely will be probably bagging these up or putting them in one of those little trays, because they're just so small. I figured if he falls off the shelf and drops that, I'm probably never going to find it in the carpet. But the big one's cool. I really like that one. But it's just molded into the same white plastic that's on Moonknight. And then he also comes with, which we've seen before, the Daredevil Baton. It is the same one from the red one because it is very gummy and pliable. You can kind of see it just can bend around, which is kind of nice in case yours comes out warped. It's easy to kind of put it back into form. I do wish he had like a full staff, kind of like the Toy Biz Moonknight, just because it's just so short to me. It's just, I don't know, I'm so used to Moonknight having the large staff, so having this is just kind of small. And last, he comes with 2 interchangeable hands, which are fisted hands, which look really cool. They're painted decent. Mine has a couple little tiny little blemishes. I'm trying to see if I can zoom in here. So you can see just on this fist, you can kind of see some of the white paint on the outside. Hopefully you guys can see that. But otherwise, and they look cool. I'm glad we got fisted hands. It's always cool to have a figure be able to look like he's punching someone. But it's got a nice little sculpt there too. Very cool. Alright, now we'll get into Moonknight. Hopefully he's not too badly contrasted with the white background. I do not have a big black background to really bring out. Yeah, so hopefully it's not too bad. Looking at the head sculpt, I think it looks awesome. It actually reminds me of very much of the Toy Biz one, so I'm kind of curious to do a comparison to see if it's either reused or very well modeled after it. But it's got a nice black face. You can kind of see the mask kind of stretching over his face. You can see where his nose is, mouth. He's got more pearlized white eyes. Mine does have a little bit of a black smudge on the hood there. I may try to rub that off later on. But going to top the hood, you can see the nice stitching going along the top. It's got the little bloop, and then kind of the rest of the hood kind of going over. One thing I do notice that's kind of different, since it is 2 separate pieces for the cape, It does get that kind of gappage along the bottom of the hood, which looks a little odd. But overall, it's not too bad, but just depending on how you pose them, you may, see, if you kind of flare it up, it kind of starts to make it have those weird gaps. But it looks really good, nice and nicely sculpted with all the bunchiness of the fabric. Same thing along the back, and then coming across his back. The cape looks really nice. It's got a nice overall mold to it. It flows nicely. And it's very nice and pliable, so when you're popping them out of the package, I just kind of folded the cape and then pushed them out, so without having to have the plastic kind of rub on the sides and scratch them up. And then coming along the front here, I mean, it's a very plain figure, but it looks really cool at the same time. So he's got like these white, it's not pearlized, it's more of a flat white on the shoulders here, kind of plated armor, and then he's got the more shiny plate in the front here, but it is all nicely sculpted. You can tell it's actually been pressed on and glued. The Crescent Moon looks clean and crisp. I think that looks really nice. That's one thing I was kind of worried about with mine since it came in the mail. I was worried about that being smudged. But you can see all these are nicely sculpted and actually glued in. Same thing with on the gauntlets. These are all sculpted and then glued on. And his hands look good. These are the more open hands. You can see more another Crescent Moon on his top of his hand there. You got some more of the white gloves, black thumb. You can see more of these little inlays here on the sides of the hips. Those are all been glued in there. It reminds me of a different body mold because it's more of a kind of a glossy black, but it's shaped different for that armor. So I'm kind of curious to see if maybe they'll use it for a newer Hydra soldier or what. But just can use that flat black, a little bit of glossiness. You kind of see the light shining off of him. And he's got more of these sculpted on here and pressed in. Just looks like a bunch more Crescent Moons to me, but it looks like just more armor. And the shoes look really cool too. So just kind of more of a white on the front, kind of a little more pearlized. You can kind of see a little bit of a blue tint to it. But this is definitely more of a flat white. You can see some tread on the bottom of the feet. It looks really nice. It's just a cool figure. I'm pretty impressed, even though it is pretty, I guess, basic, but it's different from the other Marvel Legends we've gotten. Alright, so articulation wise, so his head looks up. It's just the chest, but it doesn't look up too much. You can see it kind of, it's good. Actually, that's not bad with the hood on. Looks down about that much. And the hood is glued on. You can't take that off. Looks left and right. You kind of get it rocking. It's got, good. It's got ball joints in the shoulders, and that does tuck under, which is nice. Moves forward and back. It's got a upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. He's got a rotation at the wrist. The gripping hands has a hinge that goes up and down, whereas I'll go ahead and take these off. Whereas the punching hands, yes. Whereas the punching hands move down and back. So and he's got a nice ab crunch, crunches forward very far, crunches back really nice. So you can kind of swing it around. He's got a waist swivel, and it does pinch into there, so you can kind of see it. So you may not want to have him pose for a long period of time with him sideways. That will probably make that plastic kind of start to bend out. And you kick forward, and it's not so much the splits, it's spread pretty far. Got an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, no boot rotation. That's kind of a different ankle. I don't know if that's interesting. Kind of huge gap. Ankles move down, they move up. It does have a nice ankle rocker, but that's the first time I've seen it where it's just kind of almost like just a ball joint. I didn't notice that a second ago. It's interesting. Not sure if I like that or not. It's kind of, from the side angle, it looks funky to me. I'm so used to that all being filled in. And he does have pegals at the bottom of his feet. Alright, I'll show you guys how tall Moonknight is. Alright guys, so Moonknight stands right around a little over 6 inches tall. I also just want to show you guys really quick before I do the comparisons how he holds. So I think that looks cool. How you can hold that Crescent Moon. I think that looks good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and bring in the other Moonknights. The other two we have. Basically the same figure, just one's a variant, one's non. So here he is next to the variant. So it looks, I mean, they look pretty cool together. I am kind of curious. Oh no, the faces are not the same. So zoom in so you guys can see. Hopefully You can kind of definitely tell his face is just a little smaller, but very similar. Hopefully the camera's catching it. Very similar. So we'll go ahead and zoom this back out, and we'll bring in the regular version. You can kind of see it's just more of a darker gray. Very cool. Go ahead and now try out the old Toy Biz staff. It does fit nicely into that. Looks so much better to me. It's a little thin of a staff, you know, it's kind of a thin staff. Same staff we got with the Series 4 Gambit. But overall, I think that looks pretty good. Mine's kind of warped, but I think that looks better. Even if you had a Gambit, an extra Gambit staff, I think the silver would turn out not too bad either. But there you go, guys. That's my review of Moonknight. I do like him. He will probably be up on my shelf replacing my Toy Biz one, unless I feel like switching them back out again. Definitely the Toy Biz one has a lot more detailing, so you can kind of see there's a lot more sculpting going on. The cape is one piece. He's a little skinnier, and this is an older figures from the MODOK wave. But overall, I mean, definitely the Toy Biz one has more paint application, more detailing to the sculpt. But really, the new one, I'm fairly happy with. I think he looks cool. I like the armor. It's just a different looking figure than what we've been getting from Hasbro lately. So it's fun to have something new and different, not all reused parts, unless it's reused well, of course. But anyway, I'm rambling. But there you go, guys. That's my review on the Marvel Legends Moonknight. Please leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't. Alright, thanks, guys. Have a great night. Take care.